Well, Jason, you're never gonna do a shitty sequel ever again, are you? So long, douchebag. Well, Jason, you don't fucking with YouTube, you just said. I will always be 2 steps ahead of you, no matter what sequel. Holy shit! How is Jason still alive? It's the biggest continuity since Friday the 13th, A New Beginning. Speaking of which, I did watch that movie last night. I wasn't particularly impressed. It looks like we're going to be here for a while. May as well review that then. Hello Media World and welcome to my Friday the 13th franchise reviews. Let's continue with Friday the 13th, A New Beginning. Why did you break up the sun? So Stolen follows our main character Tommy, who is still haunted by the events of Part 4 after killing Jason Voorhees, and is sent to a halfway house with other teenagers from bad backgrounds. But when a series of murders starts to appear, Tommy wonders, is Jason returned from beyond the grave? I'll just say something before I start the actual review. Wow, this film was something very, very special indeed. The best way I can describe Friday the 13th, A New Beginning is, imagine having the same meal for 4 days straight, exactly the same meal, 4 days straight, nothing else, just that's that meal. And then on the 5th day, you get something completely different, and you don't care what it is, you're just eating it, and you're enjoying it because it's different, because it's fresh, and you don't really care about the taste or not, and you just eat it, and by the end of it, you're not quite sure how you felt about that meal. You know, did you actually like it because it was nice and refreshing and tasty, or did you like it because it was just something different than the other 4 days? That's Friday the 13th, A New Beginning in a nutshell. The first 4 movies offered a very similar kind of tones and very similar type of atmosphere. The 5th one tried to do something completely different within the actual franchise, and I have to applaud them to that, and I have to, give credit where credit is due. They tried to do something different with the franchise and go in a different direction, which is a very smart choice, and the writers, well done for trying, but it didn't deliver enough, to be perfectly honest. Now the storyline I felt was daring for the time anyway, and I can appreciate the writers for trying to do something completely different and, touch upon new ground, a new chapter of a new killer in a sense, and but there's something seriously lacking in this movie and I can't quite put my finger on it. I don't know what it is. And I can understand why people were so pissed off about this movie, especially back in the 80s and especially now when people are watching this movie. It doesn't have that same feel that Jason gave, within the previous movies. It doesn't give that same atmosphere, it doesn't have that same kind of tension building scenes, and we kind of grew up, I suppose, with so many years of having, roughly 4 years odd of Jason Voorhees' character, just to suddenly change it to someone else that you just, you don't really want to see this new character. If you want to see a brand new character, a new killer, you go and watch another slasher movie, I guess, wouldn't you? Like Freddy Krueger or Michael Myers, you go and watch those movies, Halloween on Nightmare on Elm Street, you go and watch the different, you go and watch the different franchise for the different movies for the different killer. To do it within a franchise which you absolutely love, Jason's character and his background and the history that's already been established, to change it is quite daring, and I don't think it paid off, not massively, and I think that's why people are so pissed off about this movie, which is understandable, very, very understandable. Now the opening of the movie is obviously a dream sequence, but I'm going to let this one slide. Now you know how I feel about dream sequences. If you watched my previous reviews, I absolutely hate them. I just feel that they're just overused thing now, especially within horror movies and just lots of movies today. If they're not used appropriately, it gets on my nerves that they use them, especially Santa Revelation, where they use it goddamn twice within the opening scene. That's something that really pisses me off. This, I can allow it just for the fact, it links with Tommy's character and him being traumatized and seeing Jason you know, seeing visions of him and just, you know, seeing him in the mirror. You know, he's still very traumatized with the events of part 4, you know, of course stabbing him, you know, 100 times, you know, that's going to leave a mental scar. You know, I can understand the character, I can feel sorry for him. And Corey Feldman was in the stream sequences, only appears as a cameo in this movie due to the fact of filming The Goonies, which, in all fairness, is a much better movie. This also marks the first Friday the 13th movie to have the worst edited fucking death scenes I have ever seen. I mean, wow. And this is where it all began, back in 1985. This is where it all began with these BBFC cuts, these edited restrictions on movies. This movie amazes me how bad edited these scenes are. There's not one death scene in this movie, and even the ending is poorly edited. All the death scenes in this movie are cut. And I think, as I remember reading on an article recently, it was because of some sort of reasonings, like I think something happened at the time, back in 1985, or it was rated X for some reason, or some kind of crap like that. But it amazes me how he can go from the first movie, you know, where Kevin Bacon gets a spear out through his throat with blood popping out and you see everything in it, to a scene like this. Oh. That's fucking disgraceful. Friday the 13th, A New Beginning, you should be ashamed of yourself. Unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. The killing spree in this movie is a bit pointless, like the fourth one, which is just a bit like... They do give an explanation for it, there's a motivation for it at the end of the movie, that we get discovered a nice little neat bow, but it's a bit stupid in all fairness. Once you find out the actual explanation and what's actually going on, it's a bit like, huh? Did I miss something? kind of thing. It's just like, where the hell did that came from? It's like the writers are trying to figure out to kind of make this more suspenseful or try to lead it to, you know, a certain character, and then I realise, oh crap, we haven't actually give this guy a motive, you know, this copycat killer, and it's a bit like, okay, in a sense, you know, not very well done. I really did not appreciate how he was trying to build up, you know, all these different kind of characters as the killer. You know, you get these kind of, you know, characters that appear randomly on the screen, which you kind of, it's giving false ideas to the actual audience, whether that's the killer or that's the killer, you know, and it's kind of building up, is Tommy the actual killer because he's seeing Jason all the time, and you know, it's building up a lot of few things, and I will have to give it credit because it actually did give me some interesting mystery and actually kept me watching and kept me engaging, even though this movie had some of the worst edited death scenes ever and some very stereotyped characters. The actual mystery element of it was something to keep me going, and I figured, like, you know, oh, I guessed it, I figured it out, or it wasn't very, you know, very challenging, but it actually did trick me, and I have to say, touche maybe, touche. There's a lot of characters in this movie who really did not deserve to die, and I felt like, what was the point in killing all of them, you know, and it's like, you know, you're doing this for this reason, and then you're not actually killing the person that's supposed to be killed, in a sense. It's just a bit like, yeah, kind of thing. The motivation's a bit all over the place. Actually taking Jason Voorhees' kind of image and, you know, using it as a copycat is actually quite clever. It's been done before in a few movies, like Scream 2, for instance. But, you know, I just don't think it was well appropriately done, and some of the scenes were definitely like, what the fuck, you know? There's a scene where busts through the actual door, and it's like, really? And the characters in this movie were very, very stereotypes, and I just can't get enough how bad it was. It was like, you got the obvious kind of, you know, muscle idiot guy that's obviously losing his nerve. You got the typical fat guy, which, you know, but spoiler alert, he gets killed off. No! Fat guy, which I barely even know for 5 minutes on the screen before he gets killed off in a very nasty kind of brutal way. Yeah, that character. You got the obviously slutty couple, which is obviously going to get killed off in the movie. The brother character, you got some of the actual nice couple that's trying to do the nice things for the nice teenagers that obviously don't give a shit, in all fairness. You got some of the rock kind of punk character, you know, a lot of stereotype characters. There's only one character in this entire movie which I was actually rooting for from start to finish, was this guy.
Man, you are one scared cat.
And he delivered one of the best scenes out of the entire movie. When I had given up on all these stereotype characters, when after edited death scenes, this scene appears.
Best entry.
Fuck you, asshole.
That scene was seriously awesome. This kid's been taking tips from Arnold Schwarzenegger. By far the doubt, he was one of the most funniest, most likeable character in the entire movie. I was rooting him from start to finish, and you know, I didn't give a shit about the survival girl. She again appeared like the last 10 minutes of the movie because she was the only girl left. I will admit she did put up a pretty decent fight against the actual copycat killer Jason, but she did do some very stupid decisions like dropping the fucking chainsaw on the ground. Idiot kind of thing. But the actual kid was actually very funny, actually put up a decent fight, and actually to fucking get a fucking tractor and actually jam it in the copycat killer was brilliant. Although technically the actual copycat killer should have died from that incident, or technically should have moved out the way, but the scene was just done very, very well, and I absolutely loved it. It's a great, great scene. The rest of the cast are very easily forgettable. Some were very off-screen kills, some were just there for the body count, some I didn't even know existed until that one little scene they were in, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. Some characters deserve to get killed off, especially the hillbilly characters. Some characters did not deserve to get killed off. Tommy's character in the movie was a bit like, oh, Jason, Vision, Jason, Vision, kind of. It basically was like that for the entire movie. The character did not do anything, and I get the fact that the actual main movie is based around Tommy's character and his incident within, you know, the original, you know, movies, Friday the 13th. But his character was just boring. You know, he didn't do anything. He had basically like, according to IMDb, he had 24 lines in the entire movie, which is basically like, yeah, sure, mumbles, and sees Jason, Vision. It's like the same kind of process over and over again, and he seems to get really pissed off out of nowhere, and he kicks the shit into some guys, which is fair play. But the character, I didn't connect with him, I didn't care about him, and it's just like, how can I, you know, I get the fact that he's traumatized, I get the fact that he's kind of, you know, emotionally damaged, but I mean, he did put up a decent fight at the end of the movie. The last 10 minutes, he did come over his fears a little bit, and he actually did put up a decent fight. But I just felt his character was a bit dull. So the end of the movie revealed to be the paramedic who was the copycat killer, and the reason he was killing because his long lost son was the fat kid in the actual little, you know, halfway house that got killed by Victor, the actual muscle character. But he killed everybody else around, you know, the actual place, everybody in around it, except the one person that actually did kill, you know, him. Yeah, it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. So Victor killed the fat kid, and the paramedic decided, oh, should I kill Victor? No, I'll kill everybody else that, you know, didn't deserve it, obviously, or just, you know, whatever. So yeah, that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. And of course, Tommy's in hospital, he's been injured, and he sees Jason, you know, in the vision again. And he basically, Jason disappears, and I think he fully embraces to be Jason, fully embraces to be the killer, and he takes the hockey mask and has the knife, and he's about to kill the survival girl at the end of the movie, and just ends. Bullshit ending. For one, for Tommy to be the actual new killer was a bit like, where the heck did that come from? To say like it wasn't Tommy at the end of the movie, to say yes, oh, Tommy's going to be the new killer after all in the new movie. No, that's stupid. That's really, really, really stupid. I did not like that at all. At the end of the movie, he should have faced his fears, and he should have, you know, had a very happy ending, and, you know, just end the actual franchise there and there. You know, don't sequel bait it, you know, over and over again, because it's just getting, it gets really, really repetitive and annoying, and, you know, I don't, you know, and the character Tommy can get killed off very, very easily in the next movie, in all fairness, unless he's going to keep coming back, you know. Didn't like it, didn't like the decision on that made. So overall, the film was a nice try to bring something new to the franchise, introducing, you know, a new killer, a new chapter of the Friday the 13th movies, but unfortunately it did not work and did not succeed. It seriously lacked something that made the Friday the 13th movies seriously good. It didn't have a very strong villain, in all fairness. It was a bit, the pacing issues were all over the place, and just the edited death scenes were terrible. There was only one scene and one character that I liked of the entire movie, and you know who that is. That's about it. That's the only reason I would watch this movie again, purely for the fact of that character and that scene only. So that's my opinion on Friday the 13th, A New Beginning. If I hope you enjoyed watching this review. Have you seen the movie? What do you think? Do you think it was good? Do you think it was bad? I'd love to know your opinions. So here's my Andrew T. Signing out. Come on, Jason. Let's do this man to man. I killed you once, I can kill you again. Freddy vs. Jason Blu-ray. Gee, thanks. Let the bodies hit the
Oh, you should have seen the look on your face. It was priceless.
Xanderfaulk, I thought you were retired.
You thought wrong.
So you're the copycat killer?
Yeah, I am. And you know what? I'm about to show you what we're really doing. So, what do you think?
Actually pretty good, yeah, the special effects are good, the review's very consistent, but will it ever be shown? That is the question.
Do you really want to go and get the hammer again?
Just point at the obvious, lads. Just point at the obvious.
I know, but at the end of the day, as long as you liked it, that's fine. That's the only reason I've come here. Oh, and to terrorise you, of course.
And, you know, break my property, break an entry, and, you know, ruin my review.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I'll see you later, Andy. And, oh, sorry for your window. Don't know what I was thinking.
You do realise you're paying for the window damage, though?
Yeah, about that.